What is going on, everybody? What's up? Man,
That
how
music had me dancing in my chair back here.
I know it. I absolutely love our intro video. Credit Mr. Brian Kelly's water boy for having that, man. I'm telling you, I am pumped up tonight. If you haven't seen already, we have a new banner down at the bottom. It'll show you how to follow us on TikTok, on YouTube. Man, we're everywhere. Just go find us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got a lot to talk about. I think we're gonna hit some hot topics. I think that's been on everybody's mind, right? I mean, football is here. We finally got to see some games, right? Man, I'm pumped up. So I am joined tonight. Of course, my name is George Hancock, and my Twitter handle is right there. I'm joined tonight by the legend himself, Mr. Chris Vandy, a.k.a. Propeller Head. And then, of course, Brian Kelly's water boy, Cody. Yeah, he's supporting a new mic tonight. Go ahead, let the audience hear how you talk.
This is the golden voice.
I love it.
See, and I may have to edit my name a little bit because, I did spend 10 hours in the construction site the other day. I got to wear my hard hat.
Yeah, that's what TJ just said. Vandy is OSHA compliant. Yeah, for real.
OSHA violations tonight, sir.
That's right. Hey, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know. Special thanks to College Football Dogs, man. We would not be here without you guys, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing. And so I'm just excited. So what I wanted to do is I thought about this earlier. How did I want to start tonight? So we all watched the games. Give me your rapid fire take on your thoughts of what you thought about college football being back. Go ahead, Cody.
Billy Napier, you absolutely suck. That's all I got for you.
Ouch. Off the top rope.
Just to be honest. That's all I got.
No offense to Florida fans. I'm sure they felt the same way. Chris,
Okay.
what was your rapid fire take?
Eli. Man, what are you doing? That is not how you start the season, by saying that your quarterback is the person you want to date your underage daughter. Come on now.
Gosh. Yeah, if you didn't see, that was really bad.
That was cringy.
That was a little weird.
That would have made me feel very uncomfy if I was in that room. I mean, that's just, golly. I got 3 daughters, and he said that. I was like, ooh, that's not good. TJ, straight to the point, Cody. Exactly. I mean, I wasn't going to go all out, but, I mean, truth.
If anyone could have just been part of our chats last night, heard anything we were talking about.
Oh, my goodness,
Our conversation when we were talking last night on the phone, I mean, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Utah, I'm going to just repeat, Chris, they're a top 10 team.
Yeah.
They're a very good team. Florida held them to 65 total yards in the second half.
Yeah.
That being said, Florida's offensive line could not get in sync. Their offensive line literally looked like melted butter and just said, here, run through me. I mean, poor Mertz, man. I mean, he took a beating last night.
Thank you, Hunter.
Fair.
That was our El Presidente saying great show. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad. I'm glad he thinks that we're up to par. Just 3 dudes that love football and love sports that want to talk about it. So, looky here, Cody. Mr. Jacob Morgan popping in to see you. So good to see my brother Cody.
So, let me tell you this. His name is, we don't call him Jacob Morgan. That is the captain. That is Captain Morgan. That's actually my best friend. So,
Okay.
me and him, we've known each other for many years. Very cool guy. He lives about an hour and a half away from me. He was in my wedding. Great guy. So, Captain,
awesome.
Thank you for watching, buddy.
I feel you.
Oh, man. Well, drop in the comments what you thought about seeing college football for the first time in a year. I swear, it was weird. To me, it was just weird. Because, I mean, we watched Vandy, and that was, it was like a preface to what we knew what was coming, right? I mean, Chris, that was Vandy's Super Bowl, of course, because everybody knows. Because all eyes are on Vandy, right? We talked about that, but
Yeah.
it's
But
not
hold on,
really
now. I will say this though.
not really a Super Bowl.
Vanderbilt, so far from what I've seen, Vanderbilt is the best team in the SEC.
Ooh,
So- Hadn't
Ooh.
seen 3 teams, but so far they're the best team in the SEC.
Hunter, I'm not going to share that comment. But I'm glad you're watching from where you're watching. I'll just say that. Oh my goodness. TJ, I call my fiance Captain Chrissy for her love of the drink. Oh,
love it.
yeah, I'd love it. And then, of course, Vandy sucks. Because
So
Hunter
let
has
me
to throw the
address
jab.
that one.
Go right ahead.
I mean, it's not every.
We appreciate it.
I wasn't going to share it, but I guess, hey, whatever.
You
This
have
is a
to.
family show, so.
This is a family-friendly show, Hunter. No talking about being naked.
Chris, you're about full of shit.
Oh, man. Y'all are going to hear that several times tonight,
Yeah,
and I'm going to
yeah.
laugh every time. So.
And pardon the language, because we do our family-friendly show, but sometimes there are just certain things that are just so funny we have to share.
Hey, so, yeah, if I mean, there's a little times we'll let one slip out, but that one was just too funny.
So I it's not every day that a team can have a running back that's paid money to play
gosh.
for us.
Oh,
Man.
God, here we go.
Here we go. All right, man. Well, okay, so yeah. So what I was saying earlier, it was weird seeing college football on TV, right? I had to scramble to try and figure out what streaming service everything was on, and then did y'all notice that in the middle of one of the games, was it the what was it? There was a game where Disney just shut off ESPN right in the middle of it.
Yep.
I don't remember what
But
game that
let
was.
me address this comment.
Well, first of all, let me say, this is my coworker and friend, Jonathan Finley. Great guy. And I fully support this
Great
comment.
guy.
Let me address this comment.
Gosh.
Everybody's bagging on Vanderbilt and their stadium construction.
They're not going to not bag on it. I'm just telling you. But go ahead.
But nobody said a deadgum word when Arkansas had people catching extra points in the end zone, in
I
a
know.
construction zone.
This is
nobody's
going to.
gotta
I feel like this is going to be a theme all year long because they're going to be in construction and it's just going to be every week. Well, yeah, but Arkansas had people, we going streaking.
Yes, sir.
We're getting off the rails quick tonight.
I think that's up to Hunter. I ain't going streaking. He's sitting on his couch. I'm not.
You know what's funny, though? The 2 people that have talked about that actually both support USC. Fun fact.
Oh man, well I'm excited. But yeah, I don't. What do y'all remember what game that was? Does anybody in the comments know what game that was? That was it was right in the middle of it.
It was the Florida game.
It was the Florida game. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
right in the middle
I saw
of it.
so many people saying, "Hey, what's the best to go to? Spectrum sucks."
Yeah.
That's pretty much. Oh, I heard.
Spectrum
I saw
just
on Facebook.
all of a sudden quit, and I was like, oh, okay, I better find a different stream.
So I heard some things about that. Was that just a glitch with Spectrum, or
No.
are they in a contract dispute?
No, they're in a contract dispute. Disney all of a sudden pulled the plug just out of nowhere, and we know Disney and ESPN are in cahoots. So it was kind of a weird deal there, but.
Speaking of Disney and ESPN, did you hear
Yeah.
the offer that Apple made this week?
What happened?
Apple has offered to buy ESPN from Disney.
Apple has? Wow, that would be
Yes.
interesting. Well, that would be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Hunter says, fight on, Jacob. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Disney once again killing people's hearts and dreams. I mean, here lately, yeah, you can't even hardly have a children's show without it being, I'll take up for Vandy here. They've been in the shit house for so long that people have been complaining. I mean, you got to give them credit. I agree. Yeah, we knew what you meant. That being
Like I said,
said,
we got to be OSHA compliant.
yeah, you got to be OSHA compliant. That's right.
Where's your bet?
Listen, you're wearing that hard hat for one reason,
pride.
one reason only,
With
is
pride.
to no, not well, yeah, but it's that way none of the bad, horrible comments about Vandy are going to penetrate into your skull. That's what it is.
There you go.
All right. That being said, let's get into our first segment tonight. I think it's time. I think everybody knows who we are. Let's do it. Oh man, Icebreaker sponsored by Icy Breeze. Man, I'm excited about this because there was a lot of very interesting moments in college football this week. Do y'all agree?
Oh, for sure.
There
No
was
question about it.
I mean, I don't think I've seen some of the crazy things. You know what? We actually forgot a video clip. There is not a
Yep.
video.
I
Yep,
know.
we
I just looked and saw that.
just now. If somebody can find it real quick, that would be awesome. Man, I tell you, it was a very, very interesting interesting week. But I'm going to start out with one. Chris, this is for you. All right. I didn't even tell you I was going to share this one.
Oh, God.
This is for you. Any Tennessee fans out there, I'm sorry, but this graphic caught my attention. And, I mean, if you can't see what it says 0 trophies in everything. No Tennessee team in any sport whatsoever. Oh, let me turn the banner off. That way I can actually see. Has won a national champion since 2009. Ouch.
I mean, that can't be accurate.
Ouch. It can't. I know. That's what I thought too, but I tried looking back and trying to see.
Well, have you heard Tennessee fans talk? They're the
Oh,
greatest
my
thing
gosh.
since the
I know.
invention of sliced bread.
I know.
They are.
I mean, that can't be accurate.
I
They
know.
win
Let me.
championships in everything according to their fans.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Tennessee winning no national championships. Oh man, this comment straight out of the gate. Nothing sucks like Big Orange. Golly.
Now let me remind everybody: Vanderbilt has won 7 national championships in that time frame.
All baseball, of
Chris,
course.
you're about
No.
full of
No.
shit.
7, counting 7.
7. Yeah. I don't even know how many national championship Arkansas has won, but it's all been like track and
Right.
field every year. It's all been
I
those
mean,
kind of things.
when we do know how many times Arkansas has finished in last place in the SEC during that time frame.
Yeah, I love how you did a drive-by on that. Unfortunately, it's true, TJ says, and he's an absolute Tennessee fan.
How many national championships has
2009.
LSU won just this year?
The women's title in basketball and the basketball title. Or, I mean, not baseball
Ouch.
title. Hello. Golly. I didn't know you played basketball with a baseball bat. I guess. That's,
It's a new style.
what was that one movie back in the day? Was it Basketball?
Yes, yes. Such a good movie.
Somebody needs to do that.
I love South Park, so obviously I have to
Yeah.
watch it.
Pump the brakes. Yes, you guys have fun with sports, but oh, great, Miss Sherry's listening. Awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm just going to say college
loves some
World
college
Series
football.
is one of the 4 major sports, or college baseball is, and
Yeah.
we've won 2 college World Series championships and finished runner-up twice in that span.
Right?
But according to Tennessee fans, again, they created the game of baseball
Right.
as good as what they've been the last 2 years
Yeah.
with 0 titles.
Right.
All
Exactly.
right, all our fans out there that like to drink, we're going to have a drinking game tonight. Anytime Chris mentions Tennessee, you take a shot.
Actually,
well-
I wasn't going to talk about them very much tonight.
Hey, I wanted to bring it up just because I saw that graphic, but so that's on me. But please, God, everybody listen to me carefully, okay? I don't want to be responsible for anybody's alcohol poisoning because if you do a drinking game where he mentions Vandy, you'll be dead by the end of the podcast. Okay, so let's just pump your brakes. Let's not do that. Oh my goodness. Okay. You don't have anything? I thought you were gonna say something. I was waiting, but no, that's okay. All right, so he knows it's true. That's why. All right, I wanted to share this one too because I want to know what I'm going to take this banner off for a minute. This here, okay, and it's really hard to see because it's so blurry. But college baseball, oh my gosh, college football's best facilities. Oregon at number 1.
I mean, that makes sense, though.
That makes
Does
sense.
it make sense?
Have you
Nike.
seen their facilities?
Yeah, their facilities are pretty nice, but I mean,
Yeah,
daggone.
it's all Nike, so.
It's Nike. That's true. Nike
Yep.
done put a ton of money in that. And then A&M number 2 and Arkansas number 3. I mean, we've been working on our facilities for a lot, but I would be hard pressed to say that we have better facilities than LSU.
I
Just
agree.
because I have seen LSU's facilities, and I would be very hard pressed. But this one, and then you have Texas, right? All that oil money.
Expected.
Florida, Ole Miss, wait a minute. You're telling me the best facilities, the best 2 teams over the past are 8th and 9th in their facilities? Now I gotta say there is no possible way that's true. No
So,
way.
Let me add some context here.
Go for it.
On Saturday, I got to visit with a gentleman that goes by the handle of College Football Tour. His whole platform is visiting all 132 stadiums in FBS. He's been doing this for a long time. He has already attended games at 130 of the facilities. He's attended over 330 games in total.
Right.
And to quote what he had to say about Alabama, it's nothing special.
Oh, wow. That's surprising to me.
He said there's nothing around the stadium. Yes, it's large. Yes, it has a good light show. But other than that, there's nothing that makes it stand out.
Yeah. TJ. Love it.
So,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Jonathan
He would
says
know.
Alabama facilities really
This
aren't
man
that
is at
spectacular.
Alabama facilities 5 days a week. He would know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So breaking news, we have insider information here that Alabama facilities really aren't that spectacular. Wow.
I mean,
Heard it here
I
first.
mean, just go to this campus, you can see that. But no, I mean, there's some. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
and no one in the SEC has bad facilities. To be fair, everybody has good facilities in the SEC.
I would hope so.
And
I mean, you got 2 of the oldest stadiums in college football.
Yeah.
I'll be
And
honest.
And to be honest, Vanderbilt's Vanderbilt. It's small
Right.
and it needed a facelift that it's
Yeah.
getting. But if you look at Vanderbilt and Tennessee, they're both rust buckets. If you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You got me thinking about the SCLSU
Yep.
Mud Dog water
Yeah,
boy.
that's interesting because I just realized you said that. I don't see Big Orange in here anywhere.
They'll get there.
How about that? Go Big Orange. No, I'm just kidding. You can see what my hat is. I am absolutely a Razorback fan.
And I'm an OSHA compliant Vandy fan.
All right,
I'm gonna
so
run on that all night.
Hunter, I want. If you're still watching, I would love to get your insider information on this. You got to have more information because if this is a real seat, all right. If this is a real seat in USC Stadium, I mean, that is. I want to know how much this man paid for his ticket, because if he paid a stupid amount of money to see half of an end zone, I would be stark raving mad if that was me.
Hey,
I
when
would.
the sun's hitting, though, I bet that's a good spot to be.
What is it?
When the sun is shining down hard.
Oh,
it's
I'm
a good
sure.
spot to sit.
I'm sure. I wish they would have panned up so he at least could see. Maybe if we could see he has a TV. Because can you imagine sitting here and not being able to? There's no TV. You got to basically watch on your. You paid to sit in a nice seat to hear the game and watch on a phone. That's pretty wild.
But you notice he's the only one sitting in that section.
He is. Yeah, he is. He is the only one sitting there.
If I'm not mistaken, that guy is part of a group that goes to all the stadiums, kind of like Chris was mentioning.
Yeah.
But they say, like, they try to find the worst seat in the house, and then they'll take a picture of it. So I thought,
Oh.
and those are probably not even, like, available tickets.
Doesn't even look like. Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's available. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah,
But
that's,
either way, though, it's still pretty funny.
that would be crazy. If it gets full pumping, completely sold out, and somebody has to sit there, boy, I'd be mad. Yeah.
And that is a fact.
That is a fact.
Yep.
You ain't lying. If Tate, listen, let's put this on the record. If Taylor Swift did a concert in this stadium, I guarantee somebody would have this seat. Guarantee it.
And
What's
every
your
seat around you.
Yeah. All right, what y'all got? That's all I got for icebreakers. What do y'all got? You got some? I know there's some in there.
I mean, to be honest, you pretty much covered them all.
Oh, did I? Well, I didn't
So
mean.
I got one. I got one. I'll bring up.
Where's our?
And the only reason I'm aware of it is because of who we play. But yesterday there was a coach giving an interview.
Yeah.
He's the head coach of the Alabama A&M football team. And he literally said, we're going to try to be competitive for as long as we can and get out of there healthy.
Right.
If you're a player, how do you respond to that coach? You're not even going into the game acting like you want to win. You just want to try to be competitive for a little while.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's inexcusable.
Oh man. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about it?
It's embarrassing, to be honest. I mean, it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care if you're coaching a Pee Wee League team. Your goal is to win. I don't care who they put you up against. You get your guys ready to go win. I mean, like, what are you teaching your guys by saying essentially you're going out there to be punching bags? I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's awful. I agree.
It's almost as bad as placing bets against your own baseball team.
Which we did see. we did see that. If you tuned into the Golden Broom show, we talked about that in depth. That actually was a thing that happened. I've got something else here. Let me pull it up. Y'all check this out. Get it in here. This is an interesting thing that just came in today, and I forgot about it till just now. This here. How about this? That the ACC has brought in SMU, Cal, and Stanford.
That's expensive.
That's okay. So here, time out. So what does ACC stand for? Doesn't it stand for Atlantic Coast Conference? Isn't that what the ACC stands for?
I mean, it's supposed to be, but at the end of the day, the way this realignment crap's going, I don't know what's up and what's down anymore.
I mean, yeah, I know.
I have a take. Stanford matching up with Duke and Wake Forest, I think, is an incredible match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Stanford athletically is one of the best athletic programs in the entire country, bar none.
Absolutely.
Top to bottom. They are good in every sport.
Right.
They may be going through a down spot in football, but they always find a way to fix it and get back to being competitive rather quickly.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, women's basketball always a national contender.
Always.
Men's basketball always really good. I mean, they were contenders a few years back, but they're still just a very consistent program. Baseball in Omaha this year. I mean,
Yep.
I mean, my God, you couldn't ask for better.
Yeah.
That being said, that Cal NC State series, just chomping at the bits for it.
Yeah, and I know, right? And isn't it interesting that SMU, which I know they talked about it when they were trying to join, I think what was it, the Big Ten?
Mm-hmm.
They aren't taking money from the ACC for 7 years. They agreed to not take anything for 7 years. Can you believe that?
That's insane. I mean, I just don't understand how you can really grow your program by not doing that.
Right? That's kind of my thing too. Like, it just, I don't understand how you can really get an advantage by doing that. So I don't know. I mean,
and I'm over here just taking drive-bys while you're talking about the ACC.
Yeah, there's been a few come through the comments. There's been a few.
Uh-huh.
There's been a few. Go ahead, Chris. You're more than welcome to jump on there and rebut, because that's
No, I'm saving it. I'm saving it.
you're saving it. You're saving it. Are you
Yeah.
serious? You're saving it?
I'm saving it.
Oh man. Well,
Screenshots and receipts.
oh, he knows. Careful, guys. He knows where you lay your head. Look out. Look out.
No, I'm not. I'm not that person. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm not that person.
Right. Living in Pittsburgh, I'm excited to see SMU come to town. Man, that would be interesting. That is. See, I like that would be cool. I mean, the Mustangs. I think this will be a boost for them as far as getting in that. They were just desperate to get in a conference. I mean, let's be honest.
So let's be honest with SMU. Yes, they have been on an upward trend lately in football.
Uh-huh.
The problem is they're not playing anybody to get these good records.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, their best team they play is usually like Houston or someone like that.
So once they start playing some of these well-funded programs like North Carolina, Miami, Florida State, they might take some lumps on the chin.
Yeah. You think so?
Oh, you got to think so.
Fun fact, SMU does not have a baseball program.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't
Dropped
know
in
that either.
1980.
See, here we have a baseball show, and we don't know that SMU doesn't have a baseball. I feel a little under.
Speak for yourself.
I didn't know.
So being in the ACC, will that force their hand to bring a program up?
You would have to consider it.
You'd think so.
Because it's one of the four major sports.
Mm-hmm. You'd think so.
Makes me wonder if they have a softball team.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see all of that, but and see what programs benefit from it. But my thing is, and this was kind of why I wanted to bring it up. Every time a school, for the most part, every time a school has joined a new conference, there's been a learning curve. Do you think that these teams joining the ACC is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, or do you think they have a pretty good chance to compete?
I think they're all going to compete. I really do. I think they'll compete from the get-go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for them to adjust to is going to be the traveling. Because at the end of the day, going coast to coast traveling, I mean, that's not easy.
Yeah, it's tough.
It really is. And, I mean, but it's also going to be hard when the teams from the East Coast have to go out to the West Coast. I mean,
It's actually worse on them. Or
Yeah,
worse
absolutely.
going from west to east, it's worse.
mhm.
So just want to throw this one up there. I appreciate the kind words from Brad. If you don't know, he is part of our baseball group and a huge Iowa fan. We may have to bring him on at some point in time.
Oh, 100%.
Hawkeye football.
Oh, absolutely. He's been wanting to he was excited from the get go. So, I think that would be good. That would be good. Hey, I know Cunner's watching from his couch. Where are you watching from? Any people out there? We got some people in here. Living. Yeah. Congrats, guys, on the show. Killing as always. Oh, thank you so much, TJ. A better conference will attract better recruits. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Man.
But do recruits go to the school to be in the conference?
Right.
I would say 75% of them don't care what conference you're in. They just want to play college football.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think like in certain cases though, I mean, there's kids that are like, man, I want to play in the SEC. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that quite a bit. Like, that is
Right.
definitely said a lot. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you look at a school like, let's say Missouri. They come to the SEC. They picked up quite a few big time recruits over the years. They've done really well in that. So,
I mean, right? That's the biggest thing is there are outliers, but you know it's interesting because now you got Texas, Oklahoma coming in the SEC. We talked about this last show, and you wonder if they're going to be an outlier, if they're going to start competing right out the gate. And you know my thoughts on Texas. I don't have to go there.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm throwing that up there. We have our first nominee for episode 3's Golden Boot Award.
Boy, that's
TJ
that's called
killing it
boy.
tonight.
Yeah, my goodness, he is definitely multitasking. One last thing, I was trying to find a clip of it, I couldn't find it. But did y'all see the weirdness that transpired with two quarterbacks? I don't remember which team it was, but there was a clip where one guy got a face mask so bad that it turned his helmet all the way around to where it was completely backwards, and the guy still had to throw it out of bounds. Did y'all see that?
Yes, that was New Mexico State and UMass.
That was
New
crazy.
Mexico State had the ball.
Yeah. Man, I might have to find that. I looked all over the place for it, but man, that was nuts because it was wild. He definitely decided to get it to just I mean, what can you do when you're running through and that's good. Just leave it there. We're flipping through all kinds of stuff over here. When you're just running and trying to run to the first down marker, and you get hit so hard, and you get a face mask so hard it spins your helmet around, what can you do?
Well,
I
and it
mean,
was late in the game on a drive that if they score, they win the game.
Yeah.
There's I believe that there was less than a minute left
Yeah.
when that happened.
Yeah.
Of
That was
course,
wild, man.
Of course, UMass survived, but even still, that play, how do you even have the wherewithal to throw away pass in that situation? Because
Right.
dude obviously did not have a helmet that fit because it's
No,
going
'cause-
all the way backwards on his head.
Right. Well, that's what we were talking about early in the week because we saw this and we were like, okay, look, first off, I don't even understand playing high school ball how that even happened because my helmet was so tight I couldn't even hardly get it on my head. Second of all, there's no way he grabbed the right helmet. He must have been in a hurry in the locker room, grabbed somebody's helmet, threw it on, and that joker was just moving the whole time. That is just something you'll probably never see again. And then lastly, something else that was really funny is, and I don't remember which game it was, but there was the quarterback. That might have been New Mexico State, wasn't it? Well, anyway, he threw the ball to throw it away, and it actually hit the ref in the face as he was getting tackled. And there was so many memes that followed through and everything and all that stuff. And but that it's something you just never see, and it all happened in week 0. I mean, all that transpired in week 0. So maybe that's a sign to come. Maybe we're going to see some crazy stuff. Man. So anyway, but yeah, that's we'll I think I'm excited to see what we've got coming up in the season for sure. Let's take a quick break and hear from Icy Breeze.
John, you got a portable air conditioner that can be used anywhere. It blew my mind. Where were you several years ago when I was playing select baseball, man, in the scorching heat in Texas? Right. Tell us how it works.
It's a true portable air conditioner. Here's the big deal. So Florida, South Texas, humidity, you can't make a swamp cooler work. There's already moisture in the air.
Right.
This is a true air conditioner. It actually pulls the moisture out of the air. So this thing, you can run it off a battery. Mm-hmm. You can run it off a 12-volt cord, off a 110, but this is what makes it unique.
How long does that battery last then?
6.5 hours on a single charge.
6.5 hours.
The great thing about it is you can use them indoors, outdoors. You can put it right in the tent with you. The idea is to be extremely portable. This thing is light.
It is light. I love the colors, by the way.
It works perfect for the new CU partnership.
That's right. Can you tell me about not just the innovation, but why?
A lot of your athletes, the people that like the U.S. Open, Australian Open, the Olympics, the athletes that are using these, it helps them get that one more rep. You're just dragging. You got the catcher back there just wore out.
Yeah. It's to me, it's revolutionary because not only how it works, but the price point of $289.
It functions as a normal cooler too. If you
Right.
look on the inside,
You got ice.
you're just putting
You got
ice in
ice.
it. This
Yep.
is a 38 quart cooler, so you can throw your drinks in it, your food. But what makes it special is the patented heat exchanger coil system here.
Okay.
So the water is running through this coil system. The air runs across it. This thing is ice cold.
Pay attention to us. Do not look at Gunner, all right? Gunner's just having his own little game over here. Focus on us.
So when the air goes across this thing, it rapidly cools the air. The moisture sticks on there just like your car. You know, it's always dripping
Is it-
water off underneath. Mm-hmm. This does the same thing. So, but it drips back inside the cooler, so there's no water dripping on the ground.
Wow.
So this is all self-contained. There's no exhaust. There's no condensation. It's literally turn it off and turn it on. And it doesn't take 20, 30 minutes to start cooling up. When you turn the power on,
It's going.
it's instant.
It's ready.
And it's
made,
blowing.
Made in the USA.
Yeah. Lifetime warranty.
Lifetime.
You're listening to the Golden Boot Podcast. Stay golden. Man, I love me some Icy Breeze. Coach Prime, killing it. Make sure you get your Icy Breeze. And I know I said this last week, but my stepmom's going to get one because my brother plays competitive soccer, and they need it in the Florida heat. So I'm excited. Let's get to you want to get some just bone crushers? Y'all ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right. All right, I know y'all got some cold hard truths. Y'all go.
I do. The Fighting Dilfers of the University of Alabama at Birmingham. They played last night, and Jonathan Zeno completed 93% of his passes, 39 of 43. That is unheard of.
Mm.
I don't care who you're playing. I mean, my God, that is amazing. And first of all, let me just say, Coach Jody joining us on the football, what?
I know, right?
Right?
Let me tell you something. I would so welcome to have him come on the football show. I loved having him on the baseball show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, happy belated birthday, Jody. I told you on Facebook, but I'll say it here.
That's right.
If anyone's wondering, Jody is a national championship winning college baseball coach. He's a legend from Cal State Fullerton. That's
Yes,
a
he
cool
is.
truth right there. But no, UAB, my God, I'm so excited to see what Trent Dilfer is going to do with that program. That program has been on the up and up. I mean, the program was shut down. They come back after a big, big, big fight to get it back. And they haven't skipped a beat. And Dilfer, he knows these kids. Like, he worked a lot of camps, like the Elite 11s and all that. So he knows these kids. He knows how to get to these kids. And I really, truly believe that this man is going to do great things for the city of Birmingham. And last night was just amazing to see. Now, coming up, they have back-to-back games against Georgia and Tulane. That sucks. That absolutely sucks as a first-year coach.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, UAB's going to give them hell. They
Right.
are. I mean, don't get me wrong, Georgia's going to beat them. There's no question about it. Georgia's strong. But no.
Did you say George or Georgia?
I said George.
Okay.
And
I'm never going to live that down. I'm never going to live that down.
But no, I really like what I saw out of them last night. They look like a very disciplined unit, a unit that really believes in their coach, and that's just really good to see.
Brad's in Birmingham? What?
Tell me what?
Cody
all right,
feels
back
slighted.
on track. Let me rebut you a little bit.
Oh, goodness.
Trent Dilfer. This is a guy that within the past 2 years has been videotaped grabbing one of his high school football players and shoving him onto the bench. You don't put your hands on a high school player. I don't care who you are.
I mean, Rush Probst threw his headset at his son.
Coaches aren't supposed to be doing that. The program that he built at David Lipscomb in Nashville, he literally went out and bought players. It was pay for play at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then he's in the perfect place right now.
Right.
And for me, Trent Dilfer is all smoke and mirrors. He's going to talk a good game and say he's committed and all this good stuff. If he has any amount of success, he's going to take the next highest paid job to get the first train out of there. That's just the kind of person he is.
Mm.
So, cold, hard truth.
Cold hard truth.
Chris, you're about full of shit.
I had my finger on. I was like, just ready to go.
Sorry for the language. That is a buddy of ours, but it's golly, that's just funny. Chris,
I have
go
no
ahead.
idea what you're talking about. It was that was just a random recording that
Random.
Brian Kelly's water boy over here found somewhere. I don't know what that came from.
Right.
Cold hard truth.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
I'm going to go there since Jody brought it up. TCU versus Colorado.
You know what? Let's put that back up on the screen. I actually like that comment there. Go ahead.
TCU lost so much talent off of that team. For them to be favored by 20 over anybody is remarkable.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm going with this. Where I'm going with this is when Deion took over the Colorado program, he literally told all these players, you might as well hit the portal because most of you ain't going to be here. A bunch of them committed to staying with the program. They went through the spring drills. They played in the spring game. And after the spring game, they had like 40-something transfer people hit the transfer portal. Player got played. The way he's been talking and all the stuff that he's talked since he took that Colorado job, the Buffalo's got a lot of come up and do. And it's going to, I see this being a long, long season in Boulder.
Oh, wow.
Don't be surprised if they're pushing 2 wins at the end of the year.
Wow.
Because they've got a lot of butt whoopings coming due for all the stuff that's been taught.
Love you, Coach Prime, but, I mean, cold hard truth is cold hard truth. But that let's talk about Jody's comment here. He wants to know they're 20.5-point favorite versus Colorado. Who you got? Might as well do that
I
real quick.
think TCU wins that game, but that they're favored by 20 after losing the talent that they lost off that team is just a shock to me.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I actually think they're going to cover. And the reason I say that is because TCU hit the portal hard, and they brought in some playmakers. They brought in Jack Best from LSU, who is a very sure-handed receiver that can play tight end or slot. I mean, he can do it. He can do it all. You get JoJo Earl from Alabama, who is awesome. You get Trey Sanders from Alabama, who before his car wreck was arguably one of the best running backs in the country. So, I mean, you get him back to form, TCU could be very scary this year. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, that's the only thing I hate about the transfer portal is because you see all these names go to places, you can't really predict what's going to happen because nobody knows who's going to mesh and who's not. I mean, because at the end of the day, Florida, look at them. Tons of transfers come in. They didn't mesh at all.
Mm-hmm.
So then you look at a team like Utah who had a few transfers come in, but they already had that big core meshed together from last year. And they were just – I mean, they were like a robot last night. I mean, they just – like they knew what was their mindset was going into it, and they didn't let off. And I really respected that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So what's your cold, hard truth, Cody?
Cody, he already did his. You mean me?
Yeah. Okay, that's right. He did his. He did. I forgot. He put down Brian Kelly's water bottle and he picked up Trent Dilfer's jock strap.
That's right.
That's it. No, me. I guess it's my turn, George, not Georgia. To some people, they get confused between the two. Okay, here's my cold hard take. Forgive me, Hunter. But I have issues Well, actually, you might actually like this one because it's kind of a good. I got a good side of it and a bad side of it. So our El Presidente is a huge USC fan. Anybody who is part of College Football Dogs knows that. That being said, what I saw in USC's victory, yes, it looked like they dominated that game. The first half, and really throughout most of the game, there was some problems with the offensive line. And honestly, I think that might be the weakest spot on the whole entire team. Defense looked pretty solid. That offensive line was, uh-oh. That's not us.
What the heck?
What is happening?
Welcome to the Tim Bailey Show.
You're right. All of a sudden, we're in Tim Bailey.
That was wild.
That was weird. I don't even know how that happened. But no, their offensive line looks suspect. And anybody watch that game, I think, can understand. Yeah, whoops. Exactly, TJ. Whoops. I don't even know how that happened. I think must have misclicked, but whatever. But anybody that watched that game, Caleb was running around quite a bit. And I know that he is a mobile quarterback, but there was times where they had several men in the backfield that were running after Caleb, and that's scary.
I
mean, sure they got time to shore it up. Go ahead.
Their offensive line played as bad as Vanderbilt's offensive line did? Say it's not so.
I mean, well, regardless, I mean, you've got a Heisman quarterback sitting in the backfield, all right? I was just very surprised to see that USC, especially being a Lincoln Riley team, didn't have a bolstered brick wall of an offensive line protecting them. So they did a little bit better in the second half, but that was a little scary. And then I'm not done because there's another team that everybody's throwing Heisman out. You know, Sam Hartman, Notre Dame. Your guys' offensive line looked awful. I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know. I mean, there was some miracle plays by Sam Hartman in that game to just keep the foot on the gas, and that to get. There was one play in particular where there was 4 Navy defensive guys in the backfield coming after Sam. 4. And you can't tell me that they couldn't block 2 of them. I mean, it was that is scary. Now, I'm not saying that Notre Dame's going to have a bad year. I'm saying they better work on that offensive line because you definitely don't want Sam Hartman going down because then Notre Dame is not going to have a very fun year. Sure. So that's my cold hard truth. Get them offensive line short up. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season. Some of these games are going to be real tough.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you know, in all honesty, just looking at you, Chris, you look kind of tired tonight. Like you could almost use a nice cup of some Bones coffee over there.
Oh, what a segue!
Yeah, let's hear about it.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like I just don't know what flavor you go for. That's my only concern, though.
Yeah, what flavor?
So my personal favorite so far has been the strawberry cheesecake.
Oh man.
Throw a little splash of milk in there with some cinnamon sugar, and oh my gosh, it's perfect. But while we're talking about it, do you got any videos that show us what this looks like?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked.
Boy, that's mediocre.
Then what the are you doing?
I was drinking that.
No, you were surviving it. Give excitement a try with Bones Coffee. Click on the link below to order some for yourself. Here.
Whoa is right.
That substance you were sipping before is what we in the industry refer to as ass water. Sure, it technically has caffeine, but at Bones Coffee, we believe in the experience of waking up every morning looking forward to that first tasty cup That's why we roast carefully selected beans in small batches to perfection, so you can count on quality in every cup. And not only that, Bones has a ton of fabulous flavors from which to choose.
Bang! Did someone mention flavors? Highland Greg, pleasure to meet you.
What'll it be, Greg?
You know, I've been hankering for the spiced rum flavor of Highland Grove, please.
Greg, I'm surprised by the size of your bagpipe.
Ugh, it's not the size of the bagpipe that matters, laddie.
Yeah, it's how hard you blow it. Yeah, let's leave the talking to me.
Oh, gee.
You're listening to the Golden Boot Podcast. Stay golden.
And speaking of one of their flavors, let me just show you. They do actually have K cups, and they have sample packs. One of the sample packs I got included high voltage, double caffeine.
I need that.
Get you some. It's good stuff, I'm telling you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's get to everybody's favorite segment. And let's talk about this week on the gridiron.
Y'all got to quit with this music, man. I'm just telling you, you're trying to get me dancing in my chair over here or something. Got the head bobbing.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Let's start with which game we want to start with. You want to start with we've hit on a few of them. You want to talk about did we talk about the USC game last week? I think we did.
Yes.
Yeah, we did because it happened before our show.
Well, we might as well get the elephant in the room out of the way. Let's talk about Florida and Utah. Man, what did you guys see in that game?
Well,
so Anthony Richardson 2.0.
Anthony Richardson 2.0. I mean, if you're Billy Napier, I think that's what he was going for.
I have a completely different take than 90% of football fans have.
You usually do, and that's why we love you. Go ahead.
Okay. Utah is just that good.
Yeah.
Florida's defense played really, really well. Think about it. They only gave up 165 yards passing.
Yeah.
100 of it was in the first quarter. 70 of it was on one play where the receiver was actually double covered.
I mean, yes.
So that's 95 yards over 3 quarters that they gave up. That's pretty dead-gum good.
I got to hear from our...
Defensively.
Yeah. Defensively. If you're talking statistics, I mean, technically, yes. If they do that to an SEC team, yeah, that's going to be something that's going to stick out to you.
Right. But like I said, Utah is just that good. They're going to make the plays to put points on the board.
Well,
but in the grand scheme of things, Florida's defense played really, really well.
Oh, I mean, I can agree with you. They shored up things in the second half. I will agree with that because I think they held them to what, like
65
yards?
Total yards in the second half.
Yeah. Right. Well, okay. So my thing is Utah took the foot off the gas. All right. They started slowing the game down. I mean, they ran it a lot more in the second half than they did in the first. Well, let's be honest. And this new clock thing, that was totally to their advantage because it wasn't stopping every time they got a first down. So that takes a ton of chunk of your time off. And I think, what was it? It was like the total plays was like, I don't know, like 15 or 20% less than a normal football game just because of that time difference. So my take is Florida looked like a high school team. All right. I don't care what anybody says. My take is Florida looked awful. Their offense looked out of sync. Their offensive line was terrible. I saw guys in Utah or Utah defensive guys coming in the backfield the whole game. And And like we said, I mean, we joked when you first came in, Anthony Richardson 2.0. Graham Mertz is not Anthony Richardson. And for Billy Napier not to realize that and change up his scheme to fit the quarterback that he recruited to come in and fit and fill the void says something about Billy Napier, in my opinion. You got to know where your quarterback's strengths are, and you got to change plays accordingly to give him the best shot. And I did not see that they did that. It looked like the same offense that Florida had last year, where you had designed QB runs, you had all these different plays that were designed to look here and look there, and they didn't have to do that. They didn't play solid, good, just run up and pop somebody kind of football. Yeah, agreed. Graham Mertz is not a running QB. No, he is not. And I kept wondering why Florida kept calling design QB runs. Number one, their offensive line was awful, so Utah had people in the backfield practically every single time they called it. So, and not to mention, we're used to seeing Florida at a higher level to where they got a lot of quick guys, people that can pop, hit the hole, bust through there. They look slow. They looked like, and I don't know if it was on the road because what was it? They were 1-6 on the road or something like that last year. I heard it at the beginning of the broadcast, but they looked like they were jogging everywhere. They were a lot of hands on the hips. They were tired, and the offense just looked sluggish. He wasn't popping the ball out quick, and it was just a discombobulated mess. And I'm sorry, I have to call out Billy Napier here, because you are Florida, the Florida Gators, and you people have been talking about this game all year long, that you're going to match up with Utah, and that's what you bring to the field after preparing your guys all through camp and everything. That's what you show up to play a top 25 team. I just got to think if and I don't know if we have any Florida fans watching, but I'd love to hear somebody's take of what they were feeling, because if I was a Florida fan, not only would I be embarrassed, but I'd be like, man, we got to get the hook on this guy. And I know you got a stupid buyout out for him, and that's it. And so he may not. But guys, that was just straight up piss poor effort, in my opinion.
Agreed. So, one interesting fact from last night was, Florida's offensive line allowed 5 sacks. And they weren't just sacks. I mean, they were hard hit sacks.
Yes.
And then Florida's defense got 0 sacks.
Yeah, right.
When was the last time you heard of that from Florida?
Right.
I mean, Florida's always had a good defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing, too, Florida rushing wise, they had, let's see, I had it up right here. Yeah, they only had 13 rushing yards last night.
Yeah, and they're supposed to have one of the best 1-2 punch running backs in the country.
Clearly, that's not the case.
I mean, it was just, and that's a really good point, Cody. The 5 sacks stood out to me too, and I forgot about that part. And you're right; they were hard sacks. They were not small, just barely hit the guy. I mean, Graham was getting hurt. It's just a very telling thing, and so it remains to be seen if they're going to improve week 2.
So Cody touched on this somewhere else. I don't remember where, but he actually said that he thought Utah was going to win the game even without Cam Rising.
Yep.
Utah is just that good.
Yeah.
People are not. That's not the team you measure Florida against.
Sure.
I mean, I agree with you.
Florida is a very mid-SEC team right now.
Yes.
And when you go up against a team like Utah, that's what it's going to look like. Well, Vanderbilt, with all their offensive prowess, with A.J. Swan and Quincy Skinner and Jaden McGowan and Will Shepard on the receiving corps, they're going to look like a high school team against Utah. That's just how good Utah is.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because if Cam Rising was on that field, It might be way worse.
It would have been way worse.
Because there was a lot of offensive miscues on Utah as well. It was not a clean game for either team. But, man, Florida had a ton of penalties. Too many false starts. Too many. There was one play where they were getting the ball back, and this really stuck out to me because they had done enough to get Utah off the field. And Utah was punting, and then there was an equipment malfunction because there were two number threes on the field, and it gave Utah the ball back.
I just need to know when that became a penalty, because I distinctly remember when Jalen Hurd was at Tennessee. Every time they'd run, they had two number twos.
Yeah.
And one of them was Jalen Hurd.
Right.
And they both played at the same time a lot, especially on kickoffs.
Yeah.
And it was never called a penalty. So I'm just wondering when that became a penalty, because I'd never heard of that before.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's put up this one. So yeah, I mean, we agree that Utah gets credit and Florida looks bad at the same time. Is that fair to say?
Okay. I'll give you that.
All right, so here's all the Week 1 games. I don't even know if I can see them all. Let me get rid of this banner real quick. So we got the big one. We'll talk about that in a minute. We already saw Florida and Utah. North Carolina, South Carolina. Do what?
I said we saw Nebraska and Minnesota.
Yeah, we saw Nebraska and Minnesota.
Ugly.
How was that an ugly game?
That was Big Ten football at its finest. A slugfest, grind it out, dirty it up, muddy it up kind of football game.
Yeah.
Nebraska was up 10-3 at one point.
Yeah.
Minnesota ends up winning 13-10.
Right.
They just grind it out, and that's what you get in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I agree. Man, the disgust on daggum Nebraska fans' face. I mean, they thought finally we get Matt Rule in here and we're going to start moving and doing stuff, and they laid an egg right there on that last bit.
They had their opportunity, and it slipped away from them. But, again, you're taking over a program that's down.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect the first time out.
Right.
And for anybody to expect that is just not being realistic.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with that. Let's put this back up here. All right, so out of this list, you've got Boise State and Washington. You've got Ohio State and Indiana, which I think is going to be an interesting game, in my opinion. I think that's going to be an interesting game. But I think I'm interested to see Colorado TCU. I think that's going to be interesting to see what Coach Prime puts on the field. Duke and Clemson, that's going to be a sleeper. Duke is
that's my upset of the week.
It's your upset of the week, really?
Nope. Yeah. Not even close.
Yeah, I didn't.
Clemson wins that by 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think it's going to be closer, but
yes, Duke was decent last year.
Yeah,
they went 9-3 in the regular season, I believe. They never played a single team ranked in the top 50.
Sure.
Top 50.
But they got the experience and they returned 17 of 22 starters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but playing a team in the top 50 is far different from playing a team in the top 10. Far different.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't see it. I don't see it being. I see Clemson beating them by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Cody, take a shot. Big Ten West football, yes, yep. I agree.
That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly. I'll call that boring 10 West football. Field position offense, run, pass, punch. Yeah. Talking about Minnesota and Nebraska, I agree. And
keep in mind, Minnesota was replacing who I thought was the best running back in college football last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And Mo Ibrahim.
Yeah.
And they're also replacing Tanner Morgan at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Two of your biggest offensive weapons are gone. So
Right.
obviously it's going to look a lot different from the explosive offense that they've had in the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they grounded out and got the win. And when you're complaining about what a win looks like, you're in a good spot.
Yeah. You want to let's get to our picks, because I know that we all kind of thought about it. Let's do some picks. Starting with North Carolina and South Carolina. Who you got, Cody?
You know, this game I can go back and forth on it. Both teams have a ton of talent. And you have Drake May versus Spencer Rattler, two guys that Spencer was talked about as a Heisman candidate previously. Obviously, some downfalls kind of, happened for him in his career, but he definitely had a coming out party with Tennessee last year.
Yeah.
I feel like the momentum is going to continue to ride, and I think South Carolina is going to edge this one out really close.
Chris, who you got?
Both teams are missing the number one wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that affects South Carolina far more than it does North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't think South Carolina's receiving room is as deep as North Carolina's, and that you lost your best running back to the transfer portal going to USC. I think losing that number one wide receiver for South Carolina is a little bit of a detriment for them. I think Drake May puts on a clinic, and North Carolina wins it going away. I'm going to say 28-17.
Okay.
I'm not going to give a score, but I have the same thought process as Chris. I think I can't believe I'm about to say this, but go Tar Heels, and I think Spencer Rattler gets humbled in this game. So there you go. Put in the comments like what team you're taking too. We'd love to see that. We saw Florida and Utah. We saw Minnesota and Nebraska. What about Houston? And what team is that? I don't even remember.
UTSA.
UTSA, that's right. Because I can't read it. So Houston and UTSA, who you got?
All right. Well, before I do that, let me put a graphic up real quick.
Oh, yeah, go. Yep. Hang on.
Houston doing the tribute to the Oilers. And let me just tell you, these powder blues on them, this is amazing. I love this uniform.
Yeah, that is
sick.
That is
It really is
sick, man.
Like, I'm very, very impressed with it. And you know what? Based on that, I'm riding with the Holgerson crew, man. Let's do it.
Man.
Let's go Houston, man. Let's do it.
Houston. Okay.
So, friendly reminder, those powder blue uniforms gave up the largest halftime lead in AFC championship game history.
I mean, he's not wrong.
It's true.
Frank Harris has been in San Antonio long enough. He should run for mayor.
Yeah.
Because he'd probably get it. And Frank Harris, oh my goodness, what a story that young man is.
Yeah.
To know that he had 4 knee surgeries from January to June. Went to their spring game in a wheelchair because he could not walk.
Right.
And told his coaches then that he was medically retiring from football. To work his way back out and get back on that field is a testament to what UTSA's building and what Jeff Traylor's got going on down there.
Yeah.
Road runners, and I don't think it's close.
Wow. Don't think it's close.
Nope.
I think I'm going to take the Roadrunners too. I don't know how this game is going to go. I just feel better about UTSA than Houston. I think Houston's going to be in a little bit of a rebuilding deal, and UTSA takes it. Let's talk some Colorado TCU. Who you got there? We already talked a little bit about it, so let's be brief.
I'm excited though.
I know where Chris stands on this.
Well, here's your problem with Colorado. You bring in all-world wide receiver Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And he's your number one DB.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he did at Jackson State.
I mean, come on now.
I know.
He played both. He'll play both sides. I mean, that's what he did.
Yeah.
Last year.
Go ahead, Cody.
Desmond Howard, he is not.
That is true.
Yeah.
But, obviously I'm taking TCU in the game, but I have a feeling that these guys are going to come out ready to fight.
Think so?
Yeah, I really do. And the only thing is, while Prime brought in a ton of new players, I just don't feel like he might have brought in the caliber necessarily to match up with these bigger schools yet. Now, do I think he's going to right the ship at Colorado? Absolutely. I think he is going to recruit very well in the next few years because, my God, if you get a phone call from Deion Sanders says, "Hey, I want you to come play for me," how are you going to say no to that?
I know.
Oh, let me address one other thing that's on my mind real quick. I mentioned Desmond Howard.
Yeah.
That Travis Hunter is not Desmond Howard. Let me be clear, and you might want to get a clip of this one, Cody.
Oh, goodness.
Desmond Howard. Keep doubting us. When we're 7-0 and Georgia's coming to town for a top 25 matchup, don't be kissing up to my Vanderbilt Commodores, buddy. Stay away from our Nashville city. We don't want you here. Don't doubt us anymore.
Chris, you're about full of shit.
That will never get old.
Never get old. Nope. Never. No. 7-0, man. Golly. How do we segue back to Vandy? Whatever. That's fine. I take TCU, and I think I'm with TJ. I think they cover. Washington and Boise State. Who we got?
Oh, give me Washington all day. Michael Penix, man, that dude is a beast.
Yep.
They have a very talented offense coming back. Their defense is strong. Boise, Boise's always a team that you don't want to play them.
Yeah.
But I think that Washington's on another level right now. And
honestly,
they just one of the many pieces that make the Pac very interesting this year because the top of that conference is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
The quarterback at Boise State, ain't his name Hockenmeyer or something?
No, you're thinking about Bachmeier, and he transferred. He's a quarterback.
Oh, he transferred.
Yeah, he's at Louisiana Tech.
He's at Louisiana Tech. Yep.
That kills it because I was thinking, if they still had him, could this be a rerun of Kellen Moore going into Oregon and knocking off the Ducks?
That would be fun. Don't get me wrong, an upset could happen here.
Yeah, but if he's not there, I don't see it happening in Washington. Michael Penix puts on a show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Washington, and it's not even close. So, we got – let's rapid fire these last three. Ohio State, Indiana.
Ohio State,
best wide receiver in the country.
Ohio State, too. I think Indiana's
best two wide receivers in the country.
Yeah. Yes.
Clemson, Duke.
Clemson.
Clemson for me. Georgia Tech, is that Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville's currently winning 29-28 right now.
That's what I was about to say. They're playing tonight, Georgia Tech and Louisville. Interesting that Miami is not on this list. Aren't they playing tonight?
Yeah, they are, and they're playing Miami, Ohio. So either way, Miami wins.
Yeah, right. Miami either way, Miami wins.
But, hey, to give an update, Louisville, Georgia Tech right now, 5:15 left in the fourth. Georgia Tech is driving. They've got the ball 1st and 10 on the Louisville 28.
Wow. And then what's the score?
29-28 Louisville right now.
29-28. Who would have thought that? Georgia Tech.
Fun fact, Brent Key, first-year head coach at Georgia Tech right now, doing a good job. His mother was my third-grade teacher.
Wow, what?
And
that's crazy.
It was his senior year of college, and he actually came and talked to our class, and he signed all our yearbooks and everything. It was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Now for the big one. Cody, you do the honors.
All right. The big game. LSU, Florida State. Oh, my goodness. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a treat. We have a special guest analysis for the game, and that is none other than LSU legend Jacob Hester, who was the running back for the 2007 National Championship team. And when he was in college, he was one of the hardest working players I have ever seen play. Big heart, true team leader, heck of a guy, and absolute honor to have him even know who we are. to be perfectly honest. Do you guys have anything to add before I put him on?
Jacob
Apparently
Hester was him.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it from Mr. Hester himself.
Do it.
Yo, what's going on? This is Jacob Hester, former LSU running back, here to tell you about a brand new college football podcast, the Golden Boot Podcast. Give it a listen, give it a try, give it a follow. They're going to work hard to be your new favorite podcast. Here to break down real quick the LSU-Florida State matchup coming up on Sunday. 2 words, Harold and Perkins. That's going to be the difference. This guy did not play on defense last year. Played 11 snaps, all on special teams. Florida State has not yet seen Harold Perkins, a guy that really took over college football at the end of the year last year. He is going to be the difference. He is going to wreak havoc on every team that he plays this year, including Florida State in that first game. They're a good team. Florida State is. Do not take me as saying that they are not. But LSU is going to find a way to win this one because last year left a very bad taste in their mouth. Go Tigers.
Man. Wow.
Does that not make you just feel good?
And my daughters love me right now.
I mean, it's so cool. One of the best players in LSU history knows who we are, and it puts a smile on my face. It really does.
I know.
Yeah.
So that being said, I want you two to go ahead and give your picks before I.
Oh, man. You want me to go first, or you want to go first, Chris?
I'll go.
Go.
So everybody watched what happened last year.
Yeah.
Florida State absolutely throttled LSU in the first half.
Yeah.
They took their foot off the gas. They changed their offense, started running clock instead of trying to score. Never, ever, ever run clock with the lead. It never turns out well, ever. I think Florida State handles business, being that it's in Florida as well. I just feel like Florida State handles business. That's not to say LSU's not a good team. But if Florida State can make Jaden Daniels do what they made him do last year, which is get off of his first read. Once he gets off that first read, that's where mistakes start happening with him. If they can cover them receivers good enough to make him get off that first read, I think Florida State handles their business. I think it's a close game. I'm going Noles.
Man, Noles. It's going to be a close game, but I have to agree with Jacob Hester on this one because they have not seen Harold Perkins. And as an Arkansas fan, we saw Harold Perkins. And Harold Perkins single-handedly brought that game back into LSU's grasp in Fayetteville.
He didn't play.
Huh?
He didn't. He was on the field for 11 plays last year, and it was all special teams.
No, Harold Perkins played
against Florida State,
against Arkansas too. Harold Perkins Jr. is
absolutely. Harold Perkins played 11 snaps against Florida State last year, and it was all special teams.
Mm-hmm.
He did not bring that game back.
No, he was talking about the Arkansas game.
I'm talking about the Arkansas game. Golly, you had me freaking out. I thought I was lying over here. I'm talking about the Arkansas game. Florida State didn't get to see Harold Perkins. We did.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that he brought that game back for LSU against FSU.
No. He single-handedly put LSU back in that and took over that game in Arkansas. That's what I was talking about.
Gotcha.
So I know about Harold Perkins. Apparently Ellis
that escalated quickly.
Louisville just got a touchdown, a turnover and a touchdown.
Yeah, they stacked Haynes King and he fumbled.
Oh wow!
Imagine that, a Texas A&M quarterback fumbled him. Oops, did I go there?
You went there. So that being said, I'm going to take, as bad as it is for an Arkansas guy to take this, I'm going to take LSU, but it's going to be close, and I mean close, because this game might turn into one of the best we'll see all year. And I would not be surprised if this thing doesn't go into overtime, just because it's going to be a battle. Only if Harold Perkins just doesn't take over. If if Harold Perkins take over and does Harold Perkins things, it's going to be a long night for Florida State. Go ahead, Cody.
Okay. So I don't think Harold Perkins is the one to look for tomorrow night.
Oh, man.
Or Sunday night.
Yeah.
So a big thing Brian Kelly did in the offseason was he hit the transfer portal strategically. He didn't just add a bunch of guys. He added really good key elements.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy he added was Omar Spites, or Speets. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
I think it's
Spates, okay. From Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding linebacker. I mean, he had over 100 tackles last year for Oregon State. Really a leader on their defense.
Right.
He had Zy Alexander from southeastern Louisiana, and you're probably thinking, what? Who cares?
Yeah.
This kid, he was just one of those under-the-radar New Orleans kids that's just stupid talented and has just absolutely just he's surpassed any hype he had coming in and has been phenomenal all fall. You have on the defensive line, obviously Mason Smith cannot play in this game. That's fine. We got Ovia Gofu. We got Mekhi Wingo. I mean, there are some dogs on the defense that I feel confident in. But offensively, last year's game, Jaden Daniels' first game ever for LSU, and he had a lot of growing pains in that. And as you saw the season go on, he got better. In the offseason, the Elite 11 camps, he was doing phenomenal. He's got nothing but praise for his performance, his hard work, and everything. Here's the big difference, though. This season, he has some weapons on offense. They're just huge game changers.
Yeah.
Aaron Anderson, I'm just going to say his name right now. Write that name down. Aaron Anderson, transfer from the University of Alabama, a man that was injured that could not play for them. Amen. Preach. Aaron Anderson, though, the man is like a freaking speed demon.
Yeah.
He can get away. He's going to do our kick returns or punt returns.
Right.
We use the slot on offense. Then you have Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of weapons for him. And then running back wise, we're 8 deep. We literally have 8 running backs. I mean, it doesn't get no better than that. We have 2 that are hurt that are not going to be able to play this week. That's fine.
Yeah.
Got 6 guys ready to go. Give me LSU big.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, not only is it going to be a huge statement win for
Oh,
LSU,
man.
it is going to be the one that shoots them into the top 3 in the rankings next week. Go damn Tigers.
Oh, man. That is pretty epic right there.
And Vandy sucks.
And apparently, according to Hunter, Vandy sucks. Well, let's
couldn't be my team that was ranked in the top 5 in the nation, giving up so many sacks to San Jose State.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Man, just stop. Just stop.
Just stop. Oh, my goodness.
You're listening to the Golden Boot Podcast. Stay golden.
It's time. It is time. Let's get into our high school athlete of the week, high school athlete spotlight. I have no idea where the video went. It disappeared. So we'll debut that next week. But let's talk about the high school athlete spotlight.
Sure. All right. So that is going to be Mr. Trent Seaborn, freshman at Thompson High School in Alabaster, Alabama, which is about 5 minutes from where I live. He's a class of 2027 quarterback. He led Thompson to their 4th straight state championship in Class 7A of Alabama high school football, which is the highest of the high school divisions, and he did it as an 8th grader. The kid is a stud, but upon doing research on him, all 3 of us learned tonight that he is actually a protege of the Tagovailoa family and actually played for Tua's dad. Used to do all kinds of reps with Tua and his brother, and it's just a very cool story. And it's something I do want to dig deeper in, but this kid right here is going to be one to remember. I mean, he's already got scholarship offers, and he literally just started his first week of high school last week. I mean, this is amazing. A kid that was in 8th grade going into the highest division in Alabama State football and getting them to a championship, and not just going in there and just running a little easy play. You look at his throws he made in that championship game. The man he really, really played like a veteran.
Yeah.
Kid's a very talented athlete. I look forward to watching him play. I'm actually planning on going to his game. I believe it is next Friday because they play my alma mater, Clay Chalkwood. It'll actually be on ESPN too. So that'll be cool to see. But yes, Trent Seaborn, very talented quarterback, bright future ahead of him. I wish him nothing but health and a great season this year. And I look forward to following what he does for the next, 3 years.
Yeah.
So I do have a question about him.
Okay.
In Tennessee, we have a state-mandated TSSAA rule that you can only play 4 seasons of high school athletics. Given that he played high school athletics in the 8th grade, does that affect him possibly playing as a senior? Will he only be allowed 4 years at the high school level, or how does that work in Alabama?
I'm going to have to do some research on that one because I really do not know. That being said, I know that he was not a full-time member of the team last year.
Yeah.
He came in due to injury at the end of the year, so maybe it doesn't count against him since he was just a fill-in.
Right.
But I truly do not know that answer, but I am going to research it and have an answer next week on the show.
And something else about this kid, I don't know if anybody's ever seen some of the interviews that he did after they won the state title last year.
Humble as they get.
Humble, very humble. He actually said, I don't win this state championship without my seniors. This was all them, not me.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't even keep his MVP trophy.
Nope, he gave it to his senior wide receiver. Sure did.
I mean, it was awesome. And a fun fact about him, the kid plays the saxophone.
Okay. Give me some low brass here. Give me some low brass.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, this is cool to know. So he's very religious. He's a good kid. He really is. And it's going to be fun to watch him grow up over the next few years. And he will be a very interesting one to watch because he got all that spotlight last year. Odds are he's going to get it this year because, I mean, Thompson's great. They really are. And, I mean, all this spotlight can really do something to somebody. It really can. And it can be positive. It can be negative. But I really think it's going to be a positive light. And I could see him kind of being like, and this is a stretch, but he could be looked at kind of like Tim Tebow was, like in really high regard like that. And I feel like Tebow, he handled all the press and everything about as good as you could. So I'm really hoping that's kind of the trajectory that he has, except he's just a better overall quarterback.
Right.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, you want to get into let's get into the awards, and we went a little long today. We had a lot to talk about. Let's get into the awards, and
let's go ahead and do the jock strap quickly because I mean
we've already touched on it. There is nobody else that deserves the dirty jock strap this week than Florida. I mean, sure, Utah, you get a ton of credit. But Florida, you should have showed up and been more prepared, and you were not.
Yeah. And my biggest really annoyance with that whole thing was the fact that Napier just looked like he didn't care.
Yep.
He had no energy on the sideline. He didn't even try to. I wanted to see him get in one of his players' faces, just do something, but didn't do it. And that's a team effort on earning that award right there. And that's all I got to say about that one.
Right.
That being said, though, when we go to our Golden Boot Award, I'm turning that one over to Chris because this guy, I feel like, has definitely earned it. I feel like he wasn't talked about enough after week 0. And Chris has shared he's got a heck of a story. So, Chris, turn it over to you.
Everybody get your shot glasses ready.
Yep. So this week's Golden Boot Award is going to be given to DeRicky Wright, safety at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, yes, he had a fantastic game against Hawaii. 3 tackles, forced fumble, 2 interceptions, including one that actually sealed the game. But it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
He lost his father when he was I believe he was like 2 years old. Grew up in a house with 3 sisters and a single mother. At 18 years old, his mother passed away. He became the main caretaker for all three of his sisters, who were very young at the time. I think the oldest one was 14. And he's been in the transfer portal at Vanderbilt. Last year, he was dismissed from the team. Clark Lea gave him a list of things he had to accomplish to get back in good graces. He did that. He was fully reinstated to the team. And for him to have the performance after all he's been through in his life and the road that he's traveled to get where he's at, just a fantastic story. And kudos to him for sticking with it. You know, there's been talk that he's got NFL talent. And like I said, the road to get where he's been has been very difficult. So kudos to him for living up to some of the talk that's been out there about him. So Golden Boot to DeRicky Wright.
Well earned. Also, hey, before we close the show out, I would like to show one more graphic because I haven't shown it yet, but I thought this was funny. South Alabama's playing Tulane this week, which, by the way, I think is going to be a fantastic game. I don't even have a prediction because I think it's going to be that good and that close of a game because South Alabama has tons of talent. Tulane's the same situation. Great game, but the big argument everybody has, Mardi Gras is huge in New Orleans. You think of Mardi Gras, you think of New Orleans, but it technically did start in Mobile. So a little troll action there by South Alabama, and you got to love it.
So having fun with that. Everybody knows who Dawn Davenport is. Covers college football, sidelines reporter for ESPN. She's actually got a radio show in Nashville called 3HL with Brent Doherty and former Tennessee basketball player Ron Slay. She's in New Orleans to cover the South Alabama Tulane game. And her report back to the radio show today, New Orleans is just weird.
I mean, that's
you can't make that up. That's a perfect report.
I love New Orleans, and that is a very truthful statement. It is very weird, but it's fun to go to.
I actually have South Alabama winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I'm leaning, to be perfectly honest. But I can't make a prediction.
Yeah, with the quarterback that Tulane has got, very well done. If you read my article, I did an article, Hello, My Name Is, and it focused on 5 players that are under the radar type players. And Tulane's quarterback is absolutely on that list. So you might want to go ahead and give that game a watch tomorrow because it'll be a good one.
Absolutely.
So, what you guys got? Anything else for tonight?
I have one thing. Give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to present it real quick. I mean, it's going to be very quick.
You're muted, George. You're muted.
Good. Thank God.
That's funny.
I might be glad I missed it. I don't know.
That's funny. I'm glad you said something. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, y'all got any final thoughts? And I'm just sitting here talking to myself. So,
yeah, there's one game that's really gone under the radar, and I think it needs to be addressed real quick, and that's Coastal Carolina versus UCLA.
Ooh.
Yes.
And UCLA.
I'm calling Grayson McCall with the upset.
That's what I'm feeling too.
Yeah.
I really am.
Because the quarterback that UCLA has been bragging up as the next great thing didn't even win the starting job.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah, that's true. That is a little.
Now
suspect.
they did say he will play though. He will play, but we'll see. But no, that's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. Grayson McCall is actually one of the most decorated G5 quarterbacks in history.
Absolutely. No question.
With what he's done, it's amazing. That's another one that's in my 5 under the radar players.
Yeah.
So,
man. Well, we appreciate everybody in the comments. We appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. We've had a lot of fun tonight, and man, I cannot wait to see some college football tomorrow.
So, and I want to address one last thing.
Go ahead.
So, it's been bugging the crap out of me. You see, I'm tilted My lines ain't straight.
Yeah.
Pardon my mess. I'm under construction. It will be better next week. I promise.
Nobody would have said
Chris,
nothing.
you're about full of shit.
Oh man, awesome. Okay, guys. Well, we appreciate it, and same time. What's the old saying? Same bat channel, same bat time next week.
Yep.
I think
Sounds good.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. So, with that, we'll send you off, and you guys have a great rest of your week, and go Hogs. Just had to say that.
Go Tigers.
Anchor down.